Wonderful. What's happening, Spin family? I'm just gonna wait for a few people to join in here. Welcome to the Slash Share Studios. Great to see you guys on this lovely Thursday. If you don't know already, we do a Spin.live every single Tuesday and Thursday in the afternoon, likely anytime between like 1 p.m. and 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It totally depends on the week and the day. But the good thing about Spin.live, all of these live streams will be recorded. All of them will be clipped and available on your news feed for 4 days after the stream. So make sure you check it out and check the products. Today, I'm going to be showing you a few poses and a few different ways that you can use yoga blocks, and basically what it looks like if you use the blocks, and then what it looks like if you don't use the blocks, and then how and what benefits you can get through using the block. So if you're just tuning in, thank you. Welcome to Slash Air Studios. We are on Spin.live every single Tuesday and Thursday for the rest of the year in the afternoons, anytime between like 1 and 4 p.m. It depends on the week, what time. We have all sorts of products. We have bundles and kits that get you started and going for a new activity or for something that you may like. I personally am a yoga instructor. I love yoga and the benefits that you get from a regular yoga practice. So I made this yoga block bundle, and today I'm going to show you a few poses, how to use them, how they'll improve your balance, and the like. So let's get started. So in this bundle right here, you're gonna get 2 of these regular cork blocks. They're studio grade, and that means they're not light, so it's actually relatively heavy. One block weighs about 5 pounds. It's studio grade, so when you go to the studio and you feel these super high quality, super dense blocks, same one. You're gonna get 4 of these. That's basically 2 sets. Then you're going to get 2 of these, which is essentially 2 single blocks pushed together. This is perfect for down the spine, for balance, and all sorts of things. Here, I'm going to show you. So everyone is like used to vinyasa and used to normal, let's just call it vinyasa standard yoga flow. I'm going to point out a few postures where the blocks will come super handy. We're going to start in triangle, Trikanasana. So if you are either watching now or later, I'm going to be demonstrating some poses. So for Trikanasana, it's very standard to use these single blocks. And the same thing, it's difficult. You can't really see me because of the advertisement. Anyways, so you're using these 2 single blocks. You're gonna put the 2 towards your calf, and guess what? The only way that you're able to do this now is because you have your hands on these blocks. Basically, the floor is this much closer to you, and you're really able to pull and dig deep, and should really feel it in the hamstring of the foot that is forward. So we'll do it on both sides because guess what? It's yoga. So if you just had your left foot forward, you cannot put your right foot forward and essentially hinge at the hips over, reaching for these blocks that are on the either side of your front foot. I have right foot forward. You could have started on the left side. Either way, start on the other. Hey. Thank you, Shanester. Thanks for the follow. Appreciate it. Okay, so you have these front blocks in between, or your foot is in between the two blocks on either side. You can then use your palms on those blocks. Since the floor is now this much closer to you, you can use leverage to really pull yourself deep into the pose. Whereas if you don't use the blocks, you're never getting down there in the first place. If you're not getting down there, you can't use your hands to push yourself back and really fall deep into it. So the block basically allows you to then do the pose correctly if you're not there yet, if you're not flexible enough. So it's perfect. Let's see. Thank you, D'Angelo, for the share. I appreciate that. Okay. So if you don't need the block, triangle pose, you can put your feet on the floor. That block is perfect if you don't have the flexibility in your back yet. Try it with a block. Okay, so the next pose that we're gonna do with the blocks is low lunge. Again, so in triangle, your legs are straight, almost like this. We were folding over the front leg. Next, in low lunge, the back leg, we're really gonna bend like this. You're gonna place the blocks on either side of your front foot. That can really bring you into this low lunge and really support you to where you can hold it. Whereas like if you don't have the blocks, it's super hard. Again, like I said last week, I do this every day, so it's relatively easy for me to do the pose without the blocks. If you can't do the poses or you think you're too weak or whatever, you're wrong. You just don't have the right props. So we use these blocks on either side of the front foot to bring the floor closer to us. That way we can fall deep into the stretch and hold it. Watch, I'll show you one more time. So without the blocks in a low lunge, it's hard, it's hard. If you bring the blocks to the floor on the highest setting, you can bend in, pull, and just hold. And in a yoga class, that's really what we're looking for. We're looking for a posture that we can hold, that we can fall back to our breath, where we're sending our breath up, holding our breath at the top, releasing our breath all the way to the bottom. Oh, thank you, Shane Stir. This is our e-commerce office, and we've just built a small recording studio. Thank you for that. You're bringing your breath all the way up and holding all the way down and holding. That's the point of yoga, not the poses, not the head, not the handstands, not the legs behind your head, but really falling in and out of your breath and learning to breathe all the way. Lower belly. Like relearning how to breathe and how to do it correctly, and doing that in the poses. And you can do that with the blocks because now you're steady, now you have stability. The floor is essentially closer to you. Okay, so moving forward, I'm going to show you a balancing pose where the blocks also come in handy. This is Warrior 3. So Warrior 3, let me show you what like full expression would look like. So if you have great balance, this is likely not easy for you, but it feels second nature because you're centered or rooted in your body. This is full expression, and then I'm going to show you what it would look like if you need to use the blocks. So full expression, something like this. Again, breathing in and out. It's all about your breath, not the poses. Doing the pose is cool, but you get there by using the blocks. And let me show you, if you want to get to that, here's how you do that. We're going to use the 2 single blocks, and we're going to put it on either side of whichever foot you choose to put forward first. So like you saw, one leg is going to be straight, one shooting out, both straight, strong, driving both your legs. So I did just a small flow to get into the pose. You can either, so we're going to start with our left leg first. So that's sending the right leg back. So we're going to just slowly see if you can balance like this. You may look like this. You don't have your balance. Perfect. Slowly hinge and place your hands on the 2 single blocks that you've put. And make sure you even out your hips. Then you want to charge out the backs of your feet. And if you see, you're basically doing the pose, but you have your hands on the blocks. And the cool thing is, eventually you're going to be able to raise those hands. You're going to get enough balance in your legs. You're going to be like, oh, wow, that's what balance feels like. And then you can slowly shift your hands off those blocks into full expression. So this is what it may look like if you're shifting in and out of block to full expression. So like I said, left foot is forward. We're balancing on the left foot, strong, straight, driving energy down and through. Raising that right leg and sending it back for a balance. We don't have it yet, so we're going to use the blocks, right? Then, once we have the blocks and we're like, okay, I can raise my leg, I can play with it, I can do this, we're just slowly going to raise up from our core. And eventually you get it. Eventually, with enough practice, you get it. But without having the blocks, you would never be able to hold the initial pose, you would never be able to train your body or train your legs how to even do it because you're too busy wobbling, you're too busy falling. These are providing stability. Okay, so we're going to do a few more poses, a few more like straight leg, a few more bending, just to show you guys really how much deeper the poses can take you if you're not flexible really at all. Watch. We're going to take both of these single blocks, one on the lowest height, one on the highest. And we're going to sit on kind of at the back of our lower spine. Once there, I wonder if I drop my tripod. Bear with me. This tripod is difficult to work by. Watch this. That boy said, I'm dropping the tripod so you can get a perfect angle. That'll have to do. Okay. We're back. Okay, so like I said, we're sitting on the ground now. We have one block on the lowest position. It's in the back of our spine. We're going to really use that to be able to drive weight into the back of our spine and feel stable. We're going to take this other block and put it inside the front right foot. We have our left foot inside of our groin. Once here, you can use the block to kind of bring your arms closer and closer over a forward fold over your leg. If you're really flexible, you can put the block on your hand like this and try and put it over your front foot and really stretching. This allows length in your spine. You can't really like round now. You're forced to stretch and reach through your back, basically doing the pose properly. You're forced. You can now reach over and essentially put your chin to your shin or your forehead to your knee, really creating true mind, body, spirit connection. And again, if you don't use the blocks, a lot of times you'll see this, and it's wrong. You need to get out, up. You see the difference? That, not this. Big difference. And if you use the blocks, it can really work. Okay, the next pose that I'm going to show you, you probably do like every single yoga class. It's a hip opener. It's a hip releaser. It can really release a lot of emotion, a lot of trauma, because it's said that basically all of the emotion, all of the trauma that you deal with in your life that kind of goes undealt with is stored in your hips. And if you learn how to open your hips and release this energy, you walk through life, let's say, much more calm, much more balanced. There's not so many highs and so many lows. You don't have all this like emotional energy charged up inside your body, inside your hips. That's why we do this pose that I'm about to show you. Now, if you don't have this pose to the full expression, you use the blocks. Once again, here, let me show you. It's called butterfly pose. So we're putting both of our feet into our groin. We're seeing how deep we can go. So many of you will be like right here. If you're at this stage, at this, and it's like killing you right here, like, oh my gosh, you can put a block on either side here and here, on either sides of your hips, and use your hands to kind of like drive those legs down and really get into it, because the blocks are here now. You can't really hurt yourself. It'll be great for learning how to get into it. Now, if you want a little deeper, you can just take the blocks away, and you're eventually going to come to this. But the way that you get there is by using these. You start here and you just like slowly, and the further you take the blocks away from your legs, the deeper your legs are allowed to go. So that's the best way to do it in that pose. Then, once you've done that, the best next thing to do is release the big outside band on the outside of your hips. And a lot of yoga people's favorite way to do that is through a pose called pigeon. So we're going to take both the blocks and put them at the top of our mat. Once you have that, you're going to go into like a downward facing dog with the right leg high. Watch. Once you have this right leg high, you're going to bring it forward and try and touch your right elbow. Then release that right foot to the other side. Okay. So now we're sitting on the mat. I'm going to lay down so you can see my back leg is straight behind with the front right leg parallel to the top of the mat. If you have space, like a lot of you are probably sitting very high up with your glute here on the right side, much higher and off the mat. In order to really dive deep into the stretch, we're going to take that small block, put it under that right butt cheek, and sit back on it, really driving that butt into the ground. Once you have that, you can almost like release onto the ground, and you're really feeling it now because it's properly done. Your hips, your right hip has something to drive into. Whereas before it was like up, out in the air, you're in the wrong form. You don't have the correct pose and you could potentially hurt yourself. So it's yoga, so we're going to do it on the other side, and it's going to be perfect for you to see if you didn't see it the first time. So again, 2 blocks front of the mat. We're going to go into a downward facing dog with the left leg high. We're going to bring that left leg forward and try and touch the left elbow with the left knee. Then bring that left ankle to the right side, parallel to the front of the mat, using the block behind the left leg now to bring it to the ground. Drive and have some stability. Watch. This is releasing that outer band where we just released the inner. You're going to take this block and put it under that right butt cheek, giving you some leverage, something to push into. Now you have something to lay on the ground, kind of to ground yourself with. Awesome. Okay, let's see. So to finish off today's live stream, I'm just going to show you one more pose. This is final resting pose. So some studios you can use blocks in Savasana. Some studios don't want you to use blocks at all. If you're at home, I'm going to show you a perfect way to release some back pain, some back tension. So we're going to start with one block on the medium setting, one block on the tallest setting, like so. You're going to lay your back, kind of your spine, the middle of your spine, down this medium height block, resting your head and the back of your neck on the tallest one. Then you're going to widespread your arms and really focus on that breath of in and out, falling back to the natural pattern of your breath, thinking about your day, thinking about how you showed up for the day, how you showed up for the people around you, and all of these sorts of things. So again, when I say medium height, this is lowest height, medium height, tallest height. So we're going to do it like this. And again, we're putting this medium height block to the middle of our back, resting our neck on the tallest height. Taking our arms wide and just releasing all of the work from the day. How did you show up? So yeah, that's an excellent release because in normal Shavasana, you're just laying flat on the ground. It can be nice, but it also is like, if you're sitting at work all day or standing and doing all sorts of things, not having that release that the blocks give you, your back can build up some pain or some tension, and essentially the blocks are releasing all of that. If you do that for like 30 seconds to 1 minute every single day, you're going to be shocked at how flexible you get, how much stronger you feel, and how much tension is released in your body. So I also just want to say thank you guys for tuning in this week to the /Share live stream. Thank you so much for being open to learning new yoga poses, to learning new things, to experimenting on the live stream, selling with me. And yeah, I look forward to getting back on stream with you guys next week and chatting with you more about our yoga t-shirts, more of our workout bundles, some resistant band training programs, and how you can build strength using standard studio props. So again, the next live stream is Tuesday next week, anytime in the afternoon between 1 and 4 p.m. Make sure you check it out. If you miss it live, we're actually able to clip the stream for 4 days and place it in your newsfeed. So if you want that, make sure you follow us here. Make sure you tune in. If you're interested in the deal that I just showed you and you want to be able to do these poses and get deeper and become a better yogi, you can shop the deal here. If not, I'll catch you next week. I'm selling yoga t-shirts, yoga accessories, and all other sorts of things. If I missed anything this week and you want to chat, if you have any questions, you can visit us on Instagram, Facebook, all of the social platforms at Slasher or Slasher Official. And I look forward to chatting with you guys next week. Thanks for tuning in.